Finally, Idina Menzel has been cast in a role that is perfect for her. Cinderella, released in 2021 and is directed by Kay Cannon, who has also directed the film Blockers, and is also the writer behind all of those Pitch Perfect movies, which makes so much sense now. And this movie is starring Camila Cabello, Minnie Driver, Nicholas Galitzine, Billy Porter, Pierce Brosnan, and the ever-so-talented Idina Menzel. And the reason why we're talking about this version of Cinderella today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from first-time donor, but a long-time friend, a dear friend, and I promise we are going to get out to the UK to visit you. Eventually, it's going to happen, probably sometime next year. Molly Lucio, thank you so much. It means the world to me that you support me, and just your friendship over the last couple of years helping me cope with the loss of a couple of pets of mine, and then just sharing in the experiences with yours. It's been fantastic, so thank you so much. However, I will say that I did text you the second that Idina Menzel came on screen for this movie, and I literally outwardly went, ugh! Why do we as a people keep putting this woman into these musical projects when she can't sing? She can scream very well, but the lady can't scream. Why? Then on top of that, we put in Pierce Brosnan in a musical, and immediately I get scared. Even though when we get to Pierce Brosnan singing at the end of this movie, it's endearing, it's cute, it's adorable, but boy, I had flashbacks to Mamma Mia. And I had to go back into therapy. This version of Cinderella is basically every single version of Cinderella that you've seen before. A young woman named Ella is treated really as a slave to her stepmother and stepsisters, and desperately wants to get to the ball that the prince is putting on, where every woman in the kingdom needs to be there. But the stepmother's being a gigantic bitch, doesn't allow Ella to go, but the fairy godmother swoops in, gets her an awesome dress and a carriage, and says, hey, go to the ball, but you gotta be back by midnight because curfew, kids. And then she falls in love with the prince, but then she has to run away because of midnight and things, so she leaves behind a glass slipper unintentionally, and then the prince goes around the kingdom trying to find the person who owns the other glass slipper, or tries to find the person that fits into the glass slipper, you know, those renditions where apparently this woman is the only woman that has this shoe size in the kingdom, like the Disney version. This version, though, has definitely a more modern take on it, which is something that I latched onto the most, because this is one of those stories that you just hear over and over again. You ask yourself, okay, how many different versions of this story can we get? I feel like it's Cinderella and A Christmas Carol. Like, we keep getting a new version every, 3 to 5 years, and we have to go along with it because it's one of the best stories ever told. But the infusion of modern music into this story made me just so delighted in watching this thing. I texted Molly right after I watched the movie, and I just said this was absolutely delightful. And I was not expecting that. My expectations were so low, especially when you look at the poster and you see Pierce Brosnan and Idina Menzel in a musical film. I'm just going, oh god, how great could this be? This was actually really charming, and there are several scenes in this movie where I haven't stopped thinking about it because it felt so magical. And that's due, in fact, mainly to the musical numbers that they use in this film. There is a scene where the prince is singing Queen's Somebody to Love, which, if you look at this movie's budget, I almost guarantee you that half the budget went to the rights of using that song. Can anybody find me somebody to love? That's instant demonetization for this video. Why did I just do that? But if you're going the route of taking modern day music and putting it into a classical setting, medieval period setting like this, I mean, that's one of the songs that you would use for someone who is literally searching for love. They are holding a ball to find that person that they want to marry and fall in love with. I love when films do that, when they set it in a classical setting like this. It makes me think of First Night, actually, where it infused a whole bunch of, well, in that movie, a whole bunch of Queen songs into a Renaissance period film. So I love it when that happens. And then the whole ballroom scene where the prince and Ella meet up, and then they dance, and everyone's watching them, and they're dancing to Ed Sheeran's Perfect, which is a song that is so overdone and so overplayed. How many weddings have you been to in the last several years whenever that song came out, where the people who were getting married danced their first dance to Perfect by Ed Sheeran? Or how many times have you seen a lovely couple just fall in love and dance to that song, or is played whenever something lovey-dovey is happening on screen? It just makes you want to throw up just how much you've heard that song, right? Which is a shame, because it's a beautiful song, it's a lovely song, and that's only emphasized in this movie, because the way that these two characters sing a duet of this version, it felt very magical to me. And sitting back, when I hear the first words, I go, oh god, here's the Ed Sheeran song. But watching these two and the choreography and the use of harmony, I'm like, okay, this is slightly different. And it's very beautiful. Son of a bitch, I'm intrigued. God damn it. You took one of the most overplayed songs in the last 10 years and you made it interesting. Good for you. And we have lovely performances from the majority of our cast. Camila Cabello is fantastic in the role of Cinderella. She definitely has that modern, self-deprecating humor, which is, it's like, that's my speed. That's my type of humor. So her use of humor, her timing, her comedy chops in this movie, I really appreciated and I really went along with. I loved her. I loved her performance. And I like this rendition of Cinderella. She ain't going out looking for a handsome prince to solve everything. That's actually what her stepmother's been preaching on her. You need to find a man who is very rich, who's going to take care of you for the rest of your life. That way you don't have to worry about anything. But this version of Cinderella is like, no, if I find someone, that's cool, but I'm not going to sacrifice my passion for dressmaking. I'm not going to sacrifice my ambitions and my vocations just for a guy. So thanks, but no thanks. If I have to choose between the guy and me, I'm gonna choose me. And that's so empowering, and I freaking love it. That's just great mental health right there, and we need more of these type of stories in the world today. She has great chemistry with the prince, too. At first, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about him, but when they were getting together and they were talking and they were having conversations, not just the dancing and singing, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of chemistry here, and I'm really digging it. Pierce Brosnan is looking dapper as ever. I want to be like Pierce Brosnan when I grow up and I'm in my 60s and 70s, just for the facial hair abilities alone. That goatee and the white and gray and how it blends together is beautiful. I want that. Minnie Driver is here, and it's been a minute since I've seen her. I feel like the last time I've seen her in a movie was The Phantom of the Opera in 2004, the Joel Schumacher version. She can sing, she's classically trained, so it made me happy seeing her in here. I was like, oh god, please outbalance Idina Menzel. Can we focus on Minnie Driver singing? And Idina Menzel is here, and they try to make this evil stepmother, trying to make her redeemable, and they kind of give her a moment at the end where she's like a nice evil stepmother now. But let's just get something straight right now. She is evil. She will always be evil. She's just a terrible person. Can we just stop putting her in these freaking musical pieces? Because my life would be better if I would watch musicals without a shouting goat yelling at me on screen. Please! The movie has a simple magic about it that I really honestly cannot explain. You just have to sit down and watch it, and it's like a warm blanket that comes over you. You sit back and just a smile comes over your face about just how much fun you're having as an audience watching this version of Cinderella, a story that has been told and retold over and over and over again. This movie just somehow captured some type of magic, and I loved it. I'm gonna give Cinderella 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, have you seen this version of Cinderella? What did you think about it? What is your favorite version of Cinderella if this is not yours? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.